Good morning. Happy Sunday to everybody. I hope you're listening to this. I am the only one here this morning with Grandpa Joe, so that's kind of a sad day. There are no grandchildren here. But anyway, it's our next story, and we are talking about creation. Remember, God created the earth. How many days did it take? The creation was how many days? 7 days. Where do we read about the creation story? We read about it in what book? Genesis, which is the first book in the Bible, and it's in the Old Testament. The Bible is divided into the Old Testament and the New Testament, and the Genesis is in the Old Testament. It's a very first book. Now we're on day 3 today, okay? So the first day, remember, everything was dark, and God separated out the day and called it day and night, and that was day 1, and that was the first day. The second day, last week, we talked about God divided the water. Remember, there was earth was covered with water, and then there was the night and the dark, the day and the dark. So God separated the water and put water up in the air. Remember, we talked about that? And the clouds were in the sky. So we had the sky and the clouds on the second day. Today, we're going to talk about what God did on the third day. Okay, on the third day, this is how it looked. There was water all over the ground. The earth was covered. The land, that wasn't land, the whole world was covered with water. Then there was sky with clouds, and then there was more water on top. Let's just read these few verses from the Bible so we know exactly what happened on that third day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called the seas, and God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, and herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. So what God did on the third day was, it says, let the waters under the heavens be gathered into one place. So the waters that were under the heavens were gathered into one place, and when they were gathered into one place, what was left was dry land. We're calling it earth. Okay, right up here. God created earth, or dry land, and he called it earth. Okay, so he gave it a name. Just like he called the day and the night, he called it the firmament or the sky on the second day, and on the third day he called it earth. So God just divided the waters and made earth. But then he did something even more amazing. He made plants. And it says that, and God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass and seeds and fruit trees, and that they would keep growing and bring back more and more." So God covered that earth, that dry land, with all kinds of plants. Trees, fruit trees, these are coconut trees. Maybe these were apples and pears and peaches and mango trees. All kinds of beautiful trees were growing on that land. He also made flowers, okay? You look outside and you see beautiful flowers. I think these are oranges. Maybe they were growing in this tree. And there are beautiful flowers everywhere, and God created all of these things. Then it tells us that he made when he said, "Let the earth bring forth grass," and then he said trees, but there's something special about all these things that he made. He talks that they had seeds. Now, why did they have seeds? Well, we know enough about plants that if there's no seeds, there can't be any more plants tomorrow, okay? Because they die and they make more, okay? You plant the flowers outside, and if you don't water them, they die. Right, Corey? I think your mommy's flowers died because she didn't water them. And then you need to plant new seeds. So where are you going to get the seeds? So all the plants and trees that God made produced their own seeds. And a tree, an orange tree, always produces oranges. You never see an apple growing on an orange tree, right? And the flowers always produce a seed that makes the same kind of flower. So if you have an red roses, you might have pink or yellow or kind of orangey flower roses, but you never see a dandelion growing on a rose bush. So every seed God made particular to that plant, and that plant always grows the same kind of seed before. Now I'm going to tell you some more interesting things about seeds, because seeds are pretty amazing. Did you know that there are seeds that we eat? Let's see over here. I think I have some seeds that we eat. Okay, how many of you like corn? Now I know my grandchildren, Abby, Ella, Joni, Ruthie, and Corey. I know that corn is probably the only vegetable you like to eat, right? You love corn, and corn, the little kernel of corn is a seed. So you are eating a seed. Let's see if we can think of another seed that you might eat. This is a banana. Now this is pretty amazing, because even myself, I never thought of this as a seed. But if we peel this banana, they are so small that you can't even see them. But inside this banana are teeny, teeny, tiny seeds. Now most banana trees don't really grow from the seeds. They just plant a sprout and it comes up. But you can grow a banana tree from a seed. Okay? Let's see, is there another kind of seed that we eat? Yes, there is. How many of you had a piece of toast this morning? Did you have a piece of bread or a hamburger bun? Did you know that that is made from wheat, and that is the seed? How many of you like rice? I know that all of you like rice. Well, this are the seeds of the rice plant, and we cook them and we eat them. So there you go. We eat lots of seeds. Some seeds we don't eat, but we eat the things around it. Here's a pepper, a red pepper. Can you see the red little seeds in here? Now I know that Aunt Miriam has taken those little seeds and she takes them right from the plant and she puts them in the ground and they grow. Now if you go to the farm at all and see Aunt Amy and all her work there, they have bags and bags of seeds that they plant to grow all the vegetables. Okay, let's look at another seed. Here's a mango seed. You kids all like mangoes, and you know that in the middle of this mango, we can never eat it. We can chew around the edge, but we never can eat the middle of the mango. Why? It's very hard, and that's the seed. So this is a plant. This seed actually is in the fruit of a tree.
The seed is in itself.
The seed is inside itself. So we don't eat the seed, we eat the fruit around the seed. The same with an apple. We eat the fruit around the seed in an apple, or an orange, or a lemon. Okay? So we eat the fruit around it. So trees have fruit on them, and we eat the seed is usually in the fruit or part of the fruit. Here's another one that's a seed that you might not have thought of. This is a coconut. You know that the coconut is a seed, and that if you take this coconut and put it in the ground, it will grow. Now if you go up to Rizal, you will see little trees starting to come out of the coconut, and it is growing. Now we eat some of the part inside the coconut, right? We eat the coconut milk or the buko juice. That's all.
That's the seed.
That part is actually the seed, but the seed won't grow if it doesn't have the cover.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not the part we eat. We eat the part inside. But if we're going to grow a coconut tree, we need to plant the whole thing. You just can't put the inside part. It needs to grow the whole thing, because you see that's on the out at Rizal. You can see the tree starts to grow from here. So that's some of the seeds that I brought. Maybe you can think of some more seeds that you have at home. Did you know that some seeds, okay, so some seeds are in the fruit. Some seeds are ones that we plant in the ground. I tell you a couple interesting stories about seeds. Did you know a peanut? A peanut is a seed, but that seed grows in the ground. Okay, if we think of the orange and all the other fruit I told you, the other seeds,
Peas and beans.
Peas and beans, those are also seeds. They all grow on top of the ground. But a peanut, the seed peanut that we eat and that grows, well, we always plant the seed, but the part we eat is is the seed is on top of the ground. But the peanut grows in the ground, and we eat the seed that is in the ground. Okay? So that's a little bit different. The other thing is there's two that I know of that fly, seeds that fly. And I think if you think about it, kids, well, you know what? I don't think they really have them in the Philippines. But in the States, they have seeds that fly. And now that you're there, Abby and Ella and Corey and Laura, you may think about the seeds that fly. One of them is a dandelion. Dandelions grow all over the lawns in the States in the summer. And at first, they're bright yellow. But then as they start to die, what's left are these little gray spiky things, but they're soft, cottony, on the stem of the flower. And if you pick that and you go like this, they all blow away. And those are the seeds. And that's how they replant themselves. So those seeds are like flying seeds. Now, if I'm not blowing it, the wind blows it. And so those seeds blow away and they replant themselves that way. There's another flying seed in the States, and it's called the maple seed. And the maple seed, Grandpa called them helicopters, because I don't have one here. I don't have any maple trees here, but you have to go outside and look. In the spring, or when they give off their seeds?
Spring.
In the springtime, you'll see them kind of like going like this in the sky, twisting, and Grandpa calls them helicopters. And they let off their seeds, and their seeds fly all over. Here we have a seed called the acacia tree. It's a long pod like this, and you kids might have remembered seeing it. It's long, about this long, and it's black. And it also falls all over.
Yeah.
And it replants itself.
Hundreds of them.
Hundreds and hundreds of them.
The mahogany tree has a helicopter seed like the maple.
Okay, Dad, Grandpa says the mahogany tree here has a seed like the oak tree.
Maple tree.
Maple tree that just flies. Okay? So those are, Grandpa calls those flying trees, flying seeds.
Oak trees have acorns, which squirrels take all over the place and replant.
Oak trees have acorns. Now, Abby and Ruthie and Joni, we have a story about the squirrel eating the acorn. The acorn falls out of the tree, and that's the seed, and it can grow another acorn. But what happens lots of times is, remember the squirrel in the picture? He picks up the acorn, and he takes it away, and he hides it, or maybe he eats it, but he hides it, and he carries it away, and it plants a tree someplace else. So those are acorns, and there's a picture of that in our book, Ruthie and Joni. Anyway, God made the seeds, and the seeds are all there to help keep growing and growing and growing. And you know what? God is getting ready for something else that he's going to create. Can you think what that might be? Who needs fruit? Who needs grains? Who needs corn? Who is that? Can you think about that? We're going to find out in a couple days, a couple weeks. But God is preparing for something special to be on the earth. So today we find that God created the earth and the plants. Okay? The earth and the plants. And it's very important that those plants had seeds so they can continue growing, and they can they are living things, okay? Plants are living things. That's why they need water, and when you have a plant, you need to take care of it and not forget to water it, because a plant needs water and air and earth to grow. So God prepared all that thing. He couldn't put the plants before there was water, and he couldn't put the plants until there was earth. So God had a very special plan when he made the earth. And you know what else plants need? They need light. So God already had prepared. When he made the plants, he'd already prepared the earth. There was light, there was water, and there was dirt. So he was already, next thing he needed was the plants, and then he put the seeds there so they can keep growing and growing forever and ever. Some seeds they found are hundreds and hundreds of years old, and they've planted them and they still grow. Okay, so on the third day, God created earth and plants. So the first day was light. He created light and made day and night. Then there was the sky with the clouds. Then the third day was earth and plants. And next week we'll learn what he does next. Okay, how about if we sing our song? Okay, maybe that will help us remember it. So today we sang about night and day. We sang about sky and clouds. And today we're going to add on the third day, God created land and plants. Okay, so we said earth, we're going to call it land and plants. Okay, so let's sing it. God created night and day, night and day. That was on the first day, that was on the first day. It was good, it was good. God created sky and clouds, sky and clouds. That was on the second day, that was on the second day. It was good, it was good. God created land and plants, land and plants. That was on the third day, that was on the third day. It was good, it was good. And every day God looked at when he was done and saw what he had made, and he said, it was good. It was just what he wanted, just what he was planning for his purpose here on the earth. Okay, our verse for today, we're just going to review the one from the other days. Let's see, from long ago actually. Let's see if we can put that up pretty quick here. I don't have anybody to help me today. Okay, this one here. Let's see if we can put it up here. You won't get mixed up. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And that verse is Romans 3:23. Let's review that verse. Romans 3:23. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. And because we have sinned is why Jesus died on the cross for us, to save us from that sin. There's no way we could ever go to heaven with all that sin, but God saved us with that sin with the blood of his Jesus Christ on the cross. Again, Romans 3:23. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Okay, can the boys say it? Romans 3:23. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Very good. Let's see if we can trick up the girls. Can they say it? Romans 3:23. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. All right, let's try it again. We already know it from before. Romans 3:23. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Any more time? Okay, so that's it for today. So remember, we've done creation day 1, day 2, and day 3. Okay, bye-bye, kids.